In this video, I'll walk you through 8 hunger cues that new parents often miss. Missing these cues can make latching on to breastfeed your baby more challenging, and they're surprisingly easy to overlook. These cues can be subtle and might even look like part of an ordinary day with your newborn. You'll know exactly what to watch for, so breastfeeding is easier, your milk supply stays strong, and you avoid the stress of an overly fussy baby. Plus, I'll share how these cues connect to making breastfeeding easier. Does this sound familiar? Your baby is napping peacefully, but after about 40 minutes, they start stirring from sleep. You notice a slight wriggle, maybe some stretching. Nothing unusual, right? So you figure they just need a few more minutes of rest. Hoping for a bit more downtime, you pick them up and gently place them in a swing to soothe them until the next feed. Then there's a knock at the door. It's a good friend stopping by for a visit. Now your baby is moving a little more, wriggling and squirming. Then they start sucking on their hands. Your friend smiles and says, "How cute, but be careful. Those little hands might get sore if you keep sucking them." You laugh and respond, "I try to keep mitts on, but he soaks right through them." Meanwhile, baby's movements are getting stronger. Kicking, waving arms, and turning their head as if looking for something. Your friend offers to hold the baby, but now you notice clenched fists, a little face rubbing, and the squirming has turned into fussing. Soon enough, your baby is crying, loudly, and your heart sinks. You know what's coming, another hour of crying, which will make latching and breastfeeding much harder. Situations like these can be incredibly stressful, especially when it feels like your baby has been fussy all day. But what if you could catch the hunger cues before the crying starts? When you know what to look for, you can avoid the tears, help your baby latch more easily, and set the stage for a calmer, more comfortable breastfeeding experience. Catching these cues early gives you and your baby the chance to connect before frustration takes over. Before we dive into the 8 hunger cues, let's take a moment to understand what's happening inside your baby's tiny tummy and rapidly growing brain. Your baby's brain is still developing, and for now, it's focused on the basics: staying warm, feeling safe, and getting fed. They don't understand time the way we do, so every little hunger pang feels urgent, like it needs to be taken care of right away. It also helps to know that your baby's tummy is tiny. On day 1, it's about the size of a marble, and by the end of the first week, it's no bigger than an apricot. Because of this, they need to eat often, even if it feels like you just finished a feed. These frequent feedings are exactly what your baby's growing body needs. But frequent feedings aren't just good for your baby. They're good for you too. Breastfeeding helps release oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which promotes bonding, reduces stress, and even helps your uterus shrink back to its pre-pregnancy size. This also helps reduce postpartum bleeding. Plus, these regular feeds help remind you to slow down, rest, and recover from birth. Instead of worrying about schedules, you can follow your baby's cues and focus on healing, knowing that this stage will shift naturally as your baby grows. As you get to know your baby's personality and natural rhythm, recognizing their hunger cues can make breastfeeding easier and more relaxed. This first cue will help you spot the signs early. 1. Stirring or waking up. When your baby starts to stir or wake up, you'll notice some little wriggles or stretches. This gentle wake-up often means, "I could go for a snack." Offering the breast now helps you stay ahead of hunger, and it's a great time to offer your baby to breastfeed. 2. Rooting reflex. The rooting reflex is a natural behavior in newborns. When anything touches their cheek or mouth, they'll turn their head towards it, ready to nurse. It's almost like they're saying, "Where's my milk?" What to do? If you see them turning toward your hand, shoulder, or even your shirt, they're ready to latch. Feeding them often is normal and helps your baby get what they need, especially in those early weeks. This next one is really easy to miss, but it's another sign your baby is looking to breastfeed. 3. Nuzzling or snuggling against you. Does your baby burrow into your chest or snuggle against your body? This is another subtle cue that they're seeking comfort and milk. They might rub their face against you or move closer to your breast and into a feeding position all on their own, signaling they're ready to feed. When your baby snuggles close or nuzzles into your chest, it's not just about comfort. They're saying, "I'm ready for a snack." These sweet snuggles are a gentle reminder they're ready to nurse. This hunger cue might surprise you. 4. Fidgeting and moving more actively. A baby who's kicking, waving arms, or squirming is your baby using their body to communicate with you. Often a wiggly baby is letting you know they're ready to eat. It's like they're saying, "I'm gearing up for my next round." Offering the breast now can help avoid fussiness later. Remember, these frequent feeds are normal, like baby's way of going back to the buffet for seconds. Now, here's a small but valuable clue to watch for, one that often goes unnoticed. 5. Clenching fists. When babies are calm and full, their hands are usually relaxed. Notice those tiny fists clenching up? When babies are hungry, they tend to tighten their hands as if preparing for a meal. Once they're satisfied, their hands will usually relax. It's a subtle but helpful sign. Your baby's tiny hands offer big clues. Why this matters. Feeding your baby when they show these cues helps avoid them becoming frantic. It's also a great way to build up and maintain a good milk supply, especially in the first 6 to 8 weeks. Up next, 6. Sucking on hands. When you see your baby sucking or chewing on their hands, they're actually giving you a hint that they're ready to eat. It's easy to mistake this for a need for a pacifier, but it's often just your baby's way of soothing themselves as they start to feel hungry. Offering the breast now can keep things calm, allowing them to latch on smoothly before fussiness kicks in. This next one might surprise you. 7. Lip smacking or making sucking noises. If your baby starts smacking their lips or making little sucking sounds, it's like your baby is saying, "I'm ready for another round." Offering the breast now can be just what they need before fussiness kicks in. Think of it as them checking in for a top-up, knowing that more breast milk is made for them the more they breastfeed. Your baby is putting in their future dinner orders. Next is 8. Crying, the last hunger cue. Crying is usually a late sign of hunger. At this point, your baby is likely feeling frustrated and fairly hungry, which can make it harder to get a good latch. That's why responding to the earlier cues can be really helpful. If your baby is crying, take a deep breath. This happens to everyone now and then. Try calming them with some skin-to-skin contact or gentle rocking before attempting to latch. Offering a clean finger to suck on can also help them settle down. If your baby is especially upset, adding some soft white noise or womb sounds like a gentle shh, shh, shh can work wonders. Even a running tap or the static from a radio can help soothe them so they're ready to nurse. Now you'll be able to spot hunger cues like a pro and feel more in tune with your baby's needs, making breastfeeding your baby much easier. This creates a stronger bond between you both. By tuning into your baby's hunger cues, you're learning to respond to their needs in the moment, without watching the clock for feeding times. If you've ever wondered whether you should stick to a schedule or feed on demand, check out this next video here. I'll walk you through 5 crucial things so you'll understand exactly when to breastfeed your baby and how often.